Well, turning now to Gaza, where Israeli forces say that they secured and destroyed a Hamas command center in the north, while in the south, the IDF says a raid on what it describes as terrorist infrastructure killed numerous militant fighters. Israel warns that the war against Hamas will likely last for several months.
And meanwhile, U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan reiterated American support for Israel while meeting with officials in the region.
I have and will continue to state President Biden and the United States' commitment to preserving space for peace, for a two-state solution where Israel's security is guaranteed. The Israeli people need and deserve to live in peace and security with their neighbors in a region that is integrated, dynamic, and stable. That is what we are working toward. That is what I discussed with my counterparts and interlocutors here in Israel, and that is President Biden's fundamental vision for the future of this region.
And for more on all of the latest developments, we go to Ramy Inocencio. He's following the latest for us from Tel Aviv. Ramy, good morning.
Good morning there, Doug. Yeah, that's right. You know, there are words, and then now there is action. Right now, the talk is Israel may ramp down its strikes on Gaza, maybe in the next 2 to 3 weeks. But fighting, as we know it, at a lower intensity could last through much of next year. And warning now for this report coming up, the images are graphic.
Carrying a bloodied boy, this man yells, "Where is the ambulance?" What stood here in Rafah were two homes now leveled by an Israeli strike. Hamas claimed dozens of civilians were killed. America says it's against Israel targeting civilians, said the survivor, but civilians are being targeted. With deaths in Gaza now just shy of 19,000 men, women, and children, according to Gaza's Hamas-run health ministry, President Biden is again pressuring Israel for more restraint, more surgical, more precise military strikes.
I want them to be focused on how to save civilian lives, not stop going after Hamas, but be more careful.
In Israel, U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan made the case.
The issue here is about when the transition from a high-intensity operation to a different phase of this campaign takes place.
That should happen in 2 to 3 weeks, two U.S. officials now tell CBS News, but followed by lower levels of bombing for several months. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu took to the airwaves after, saying, "I told our American friends, we are more determined than ever until Hamas is eliminated." Israel's military released new footage of what it claims are terrorists killed in a major tunnel and hailed the surrender of about 70 alleged Hamas fighters, while Palestinians mourned in the West Bank town of Jenin after Israeli raids killed about a dozen people. This Israeli soldier sang into a mosque microphone a Hebrew song linked to Hanukkah in an act of religious desecration, which Israel's military condemned.
And as we know now, Jake Sullivan is in the West Bank today to speak with Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas. Now, President Biden envisions a kind of revitalized, in his words, Palestinian Authority governing Gaza, but Prime Minister Netanyahu here says he would not allow that to happen as long as he is Prime Minister.
All right, so Ramy, let's talk a little bit more about this. You know, what are we learning about Jake Sullivan's meeting with the Palestinian president today in the West Bank?
Sure. Well, the focus is on stabilizing the violence happening in the West Bank. In addition, again, in Mr. Biden's words, to revamp and to revitalize the governance system in the West Bank. That is run by Fatah, run by Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas. Now, Abbas's governance has been coming under lots of criticism over the past several years in terms of it being impotent and corrupt. And as we know, Mr. Netanyahu and his right-wing cabinet does not want to see him come into power. So looking ahead, there is this dissonance in terms of what Israel and the U.S. want to do. We also know that Mr. Biden does see that the Palestinians should be in control of their own destiny, of the occupied Palestinian territories. But this is something in terms of a question of who will be that. Netanyahu has said that he doesn't want it to be Hamas and he doesn't want it to be Fatah.
Ramy, in your reporting this morning, you mentioned a transition by Israeli forces from the high-intensity operation to a lower one. Do we know how and when this will be implemented?
Well, Jake Sullivan, the National Security Advisor, basically said that he would not go into details because it would not help the security situation with regards to Gaza. But what we do anticipate, at least, is that it won't be the large-scale, in Mr. Biden's words, indiscriminate bombing, basically seeing collateral damage with militants as well as with civilians. But what it very well could be, what they're advocating for, will be more surgical strikes, smaller strikes, some more precise strikes, trying to target high-level individuals that will hopefully, ideally, avoid the civilian casualties that we've been seeing over the past nearly 10 weeks.
Ramy Inocencio joining us from Tel Aviv. Ramy, we appreciate it. Thanks very much.